I'm going to do a video today on operant conditioning and the effects it has on individuals and which individuals typically are subjected to it. So, for me, I have noticed that a large majority of men have the similar impression that all women, at least deep down somewhere, are attracted to men. And if you are not, it hurts their self-esteem. They obsess over it. Well, if things were different, would you have sex with me? If I was a woman, would you have sex with me? If this didn't happen in your life, would you have sex? And that's literally, they are hurt deep down that you reject them. And it makes them feel good to know that. I think that's part of the problem that I'm getting ready to get into. Men derive validation through sexual contact, and they see sex as love, and when you don't have sex with them or even want to or think about it, they see it as you not loving them, and it bothers them. And depending on the man, you not loving them could be the biggest trigger of their life. And under society's norms, once one man says something about you, they tend to get external validation with other men, and you get subjected to bullying, which I've talked about before. They all kind of team up together, and then women will do it too. Every woman knows what's going on deep down, but she doesn't want to be at the receiving end of it either, because it's a man's world, right? We don't have a whole lot of power. We need jobs, we need houses, we need the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the man is at the top of the food chain. That's just how it is. There is no equality, no matter how much people want to admit it, or not admit it. But going off on another tangent, I have noticed that lesbian women typically get it pretty bad, and I will speak for myself. I've spoke with some others, but and it's even harder when it's in the metaphysical, like telepathy and metaphysics. It makes things hard to talk about. Of course, you can telepathically communicate with others how you feel, but there is no privacy. Your predator is listening to you and getting pissed off about you talking about them and making them look bad. And then you've got other people that are listening without the best intentions, or just people that might have good intentions but make you uncomfortable for listening in the first place. I have been subjected to operant conditioning, which is when somebody does something negative when you're doing something in general. So let's just say you are walking to the store, and every time you walk to the store, you lock your car. Just out of habit. Somebody could full force punch you in the stomach in the metaphysical every time you do that, to train you not to lock your car door because they want to get into your car. Once you stop locking your car door, you don't get punched in the stomach anymore. And it feels good, like you're doing the right thing. But you are not doing the right thing, and you're letting a narcissist gain access to your vehicle. So there's an example. But for me personally, I have gone through trying to kiss a woman in the metaphysical, and I was raped for it. I have gone through even just saying I love you to a woman, and I was raped for it. Even thinking about saying I love you to her, I was raped for it. And it wasn't, here's what people don't understand. When you're raped in the metaphysical, sometimes it is just a physical sensation, and it is invasive, but I don't think people understand what it feels like to be actually rage and hate raped. These people are allowing they don't even think about it. They get so angry by what they are seeing and feeling in their mind's eye that they use their energy as a weapon. That type of abuse is very damaging to your nervous system. And it doesn't work. It does not work. It does, for me, raping me when I kiss a woman or want to make love to a woman or say I love you to a woman that is consenting does not make me want to stop. It makes me angry, and it makes me want to fight. Some people are fight or flight. I am fight. I think that's the best way to be when it comes to these situations, because a lot of them are expecting you to submit into their demands. Because if it were done to them, they would submit to the demands. Why else would they think it works? Because it would work on them. But yeah, there is nothing like it. And it is called operant conditioning. There's a lot of different methods that are used to control and condition people. But as a society, we have not even admitted telepathy is real. People sit around and communicate with each other all day, and it is just called schizophrenia. We just call it schizophrenia. You're hearing voices, you're schizophrenic. When you know damn well that you can walk into the store and connect with a stranger and say, "Hi, how's your day?" And they can say it back. Or you can talk to a trusted person and they say, "Hey, will you raise your right hand? So this is real." Yeah, it's real. You can do that with people so you don't feel gaslit and you don't feel crazy. But yeah, there's just no proof. There's no way to prove it, right? So the fact that they use that as a valid reason not to talk about it blows my mind, because I feel like there's plenty of technology out there to prove that telepathy is real, like EMF detectors and different types of ghost hunting equipment. They say they can pick up on extra terrestrial voices and out-of-body voices, or whatever, disembodied voices and heat signatures and other things. with it, that is what we should do to prove it. It wouldn't be hard to even just address it in the public. Like, you could just blatantly admit, hey, telepathy is real. We have proven it a few times in some studies, and we are sorry that it took this long to come out. We know a lot of people know it's real. See, like, they could lie and say that, because in reality, when they're telling people they have schizophrenia and are crazy and get locked up and have their lives ruined over stuff like this, or they can't be in trusted positions, they're lying too. So why can't you do it for the good? I personally think that this not acknowledging that telepathy is real is because of the patriarchy. Men are at the top of the food chain. They control everything in the world and the government and the United States, and they use it for their own control, their own reasons. So many women are afraid to talk about the abuse because they're alone, and they're normally outcasted and singled out by other women because other women see it being done and they're afraid for it to be done to them. As a lesbian woman, I have been subjected to it my entire life. And I, of course, haven't been a lesbian my whole life, but I was always like a tomboy, and whatever, it doesn't matter. I have been a lesbian since I'm 16. We'll just say that. But before that, I was just questioning. Like, it doesn't matter. The way you are treated when men feel you aren't attracted to them, it triggers this wound inside of them where they feel rejected and unloved because they think sex is love. How many men have talked to me about things such as, hey, if I had a vagina, would you love me? Would you have sex with me? If A, B, C, and D didn't happen, would you have sex with me? And it goes on and on and on. Like, if these things didn't happen, would you love me? And that's really how they place it in their mind. It's not, would you have sex with me? It's, would you love me? And it's like, why can't they accept love that isn't sex? It doesn't make sense. I don't know. They place being sexually accepted as love. And depending on what kind of man you're dealing with, that triggers a deep wound. And then all he has to do is get pissed off and tell one of his guys, one of his bros, one of his friends, and you are subjected to the worst fucking bullying of your life. You are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You did A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and nobody was around to see that you didn't, and now all of a sudden one little characteristic that they noticed about you when you're having a bad day turns into, oh yeah, I can see her doing that. I can see her doing that. Or they abuse you into having a bad day. And then they're like, oh yeah, she's a bitch. I can see her doing that. And then you just become the target of bullying. And a lot of women feel like the only way to make it stop, to coddle them, is to give them sexual gratification of some kind. And that shit needs to stop. We should not have to disassociate and give someone sexual pleasure so they aren't throwing a temper tantrum that you don't love them. I don't know why men get triggered at that level about you not loving them in their eyes. And I would have to guess that it's probably because they have become too codependent on women for love. And validation from women in general. Very, very insecure men. Why do you need somebody to love you, right? Because sex is love. I'm trying to understand their mindset. Why do you need somebody to love you to feel secure? It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal if somebody doesn't love you. They don't know you. So why does it matter? The only person that knows you is you. And that's what it boils down to. A lot of men do not get to know themselves and love themselves and forgive themselves for things. And they wait for women to do it for them. And it has just become part of society. There is like this internal anger inside of me that is boiling beneath the surface even talking about it, because it makes me feel like I don't even want to give men as a whole a chance. Because why couldn't they see this to begin with? Not every woman is straight. Not every woman is straight. When somebody says I'm a lesbian, that means they are attracted to women. We're not waiting on the right one. We're not confused. We're not whatever. And another way I explain this to men is you're a straight man, right? So just think of me as a straight man. How hard is it? You like the female physique, and so do I. You like their smell, and so do I. You like their voice, and so do I. I mean, do we need to get into sexuality? Do we need to break it down that deep for them to understand that I am the same way too? Would you like to be abused every time you've thought a sexual thought about a woman and then have it replaced with somebody shoving a dick inside of you? And if you didn't do it, I mean, you're just damn near going to be brain dead because of the shock it has to your system. If people are using pure hate energy and pure rage energy on such an innocent, open, vulnerable thing, like you're getting ready to kiss somebody and you're just feeling bliss and happiness and joy and your heart's wide open, and they hit it with rage and hate, that shit can kill you. I'm pretty sure that shit can give you a stroke. And if there were laws protecting people from metaphysical abuse, I'm sure it would be prison time for doing stuff like this. And you can kill people abusing them in the metaphysical, and I think they need to stop being arrogant and egotistic and using it for their own power and positions in society, and just admit it's real, because people are dying. They have to go to God for help. They have to go to God for help in this type of abuse. And there's so much in our society that's disproving that God's real, that we're in a godless society, and a lot of people don't know they can go to God for help, especially lesbians. We're told that we're going to hell for loving a consenting female partner. So how can we go to God? That's something I struggled with. So if you are a lesbian, you are really, really at the bottom of the totem pole, and you are hopeless. I can tell you that this situation has helped me find God, and God is most certainly real. Anybody that wants to get help, they just need to be open to God. And there will be a bunch of pieces of shit acting like God, saying, hey, I'm God, I'll help you. And it's just an arrogant man or woman, more than likely a man. But God will present himself to you if your third eye is open. And if your third eye is not open, you can feel God. It is a beautiful presence. But like for me, God has made it so they can't rape me anymore. And God will show the energy coming toward me, but it will be blocked. So, yeah, being connected with God is very important when you are put in these positions. It is a beautiful thing to discover. It's unfortunate how most people discover God, but I feel lucky. I put these videos out because some people may not know what to do if they're in this situation. I think a lot of lesbians give up and get with a man. Do you know how many times I have seen a woman dressed like me, or just dressed in butch clothes in general, and just has that butch demeanor, and is with a man, and they have kids running beside them? And do you know how, I know I'm judging, and maybe it is a straight woman, I don't know, but I've ran across it so many times where I feel like lesbians are just bullied into submission and are forced to have what the man wants. And that is another reason why I think all lesbians are straight deep down, because they just submit. They get tired of the bullying. Which is easier, just to submit to what you want, or keep fighting for the rest of my life? Because it does feel like it kills you. They can kill you. We will say that. They can kill you. With my personality type, I was willing to let them try to kill me, because I am stubborn as fuck, and I am set in my beliefs. You are not going to change my sexuality for your own personal reasons, because you are too insecure to go to therapy and figure out why not being loved by a stranger triggers you like that. That is not my responsibility to coddle you. It is not my responsibility to love you. You are to love yourself. I'm about to get real heated if I keep on this topic, because they are so codependent, and they do not care what they do to you to get what they want. This abuse that I was subjected to is absolutely ridiculous. there were times I was at work and I was just walking somewhere and I forgot where I was walking for a second because all I was doing was thinking about somebody I loved and they hit me with rage rape. And it fried my memory. And I had to regain composure and think about what I'm doing. All because they're angry that they can't stay out of my head. Do you know how easy it is to fix that? Don't be in somebody's head if you are angry about them thinking about a lesbian relationship. My blood pressure rose. My muscles ached. I am pretty sure I have had a few strokes, to be quite honest with you, that I never went to the doctor for. I was extremely tired and had to sleep a lot. Felt like I needed to sleep a lot. There was one time that I was raped out of my sleep. I woke up to feeling like I was falling backwards and not knowing what was going on. And somebody was raping me out of my sleep. That's how bad it got. I was in mid conversations with my grandmother. And they said, "Don't talk over her," and they raped me for it. Some of it just simply isn't because I'm a lesbian and they want to feel loved by me. But some of it is they just wanted to control and bully. And instead of minding their own business and not... See, here's the thing. They should have minded their own business. And if they were welcome there in the first place, they could have said, "Hey, I noticed you talked over your grandma earlier. That probably makes her feel bullied or dominated. And it's rude. Do you think that you could be more aware and try not to next time?" But here's the thing. This person wasn't even invited there in the first place. Which means they were just trying to find a reason to bully me. They didn't care. They tried to find a righteous reason to do it. So it doesn't look bad to the other people watching. People don't think, "Well, are you sure you should rape?" "Well, she was abusing her grandma." Oh, okay. Not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I have been stood over while I'm shitting. And I struggle with that in general. I get constipated a lot. And while I'm trying to use the bathroom, they were shoving it back up into my asshole. I have been eating a midnight snack before, and somebody stood over me and looked at me in disgust and said, "Do you know how many carbs is in that?" And then this was a man that was persistently bullying me anytime I felt something sexual toward a woman. And he was only demeaning me and degrading me about me eating because he felt I was overweight to begin with. And if he was going to be a sexual partner of mine, then I needed to be thinner. So me eating that late at night was not going to happen. And he had convinced himself that all this operant conditioning that he was doing and bullying and harassment that he was doing was going to work. So he needed to make sure that I didn't gain weight. That's how far into the fucking delusion he was. That shit really pissed me the fuck off. Could you imagine PMSing and needing like a dopamine hit? You can't masturbate anymore. You can't feel anything good anymore because as soon as you do, they hit you with rage or hate. And then the only thing that you can really even do anymore is eat. And somebody is telling you, making you feel ugly and disgusting and fat, or trying to, because they want to have sex with you by the time they're done bullying you, by the time they're done rewiring your brain. They need to make sure your body is the right size for them. That's how you know you are dealing with a real narcissist. A real, genuine narcissist. That level of selfishness is disgusting. I'm trying to think of any other things that I've dealt with in the metaphysical. I used to be stalked. People would follow me to where I'm going. Like I would be on the riverbed or going on a walk, and people would stalk me. And it just felt weird. They would get real close to me and like hold their phone and take a picture of me. And then like wear shirts with subliminal messages. Like one said, "I love mentally ill women." I shit you not. The shirt said, "I love mentally ill women." And it was red, and they drove in a big old truck, and they were like giggling and smirking when they were doing it. And you could feel something was off because everything was silent and peaceful before they got there. And then just people were rolling up, taking pictures, wearing that shit. One followed me down into the woods, said he was a preacher. Everywhere I would go, I didn't realize at the time that people were listening to my thoughts and knowing where I was and stalking me. This is why the government just needs to admit it, that it's real. They've got all these safe measures to protect people from stalking in the physical, and assault in the physical, and abuse in the physical. But look how far it goes in the metaphysical because it's not real. Come on. Don't act like you care, like you have laws and you're passionate about protecting people. In the physical, if you are you knowingly let this shit go on. And I think some of them just turned a blind eye to it because it worked to their benefit to keep it this way. But I think they're starting to see how bad it really is. I think within the next 3 to 5 years, there's going to be more things opening up in mainstream media and the public eye about this. We need more trailblazers talking about it. People are dying because they just love a woman. Why is that okay? We need an ethics class in high school. It needs to be pass-fail. That way when they get out in society, they know. You were taught in high school that, if you weren't taught this at home, you were taught in high school that this is not okay. It is on your diploma. It is the fine print in your diploma that says you know this. You graduated. So you are getting in trouble legally for what you did. What else do we need? We need mental health pushed. If men really feel like they need to be loved to feel secure, then maybe we should push mental health and teach them self-love. That's what I did. People are treating me like shit. I go inward and think, I try my best to be a good person. I do nice things for people. I barely bother anybody. I don't do anything bad. Why am I being treated like shit? Oh, maybe it has nothing to do with me. Blame yourself until you can't anymore, and then you can start blaming them. And then that's where you go inward even further and just say, hey, you didn't deserve that. If nobody else does it, tell yourself, hey, you didn't deserve that. That wasn't right. That wasn't fair. And love yourself for it. If nobody else will. That is why I'm so pro-love. Or pro-self-love. How secure it makes you to love yourself and to forgive yourself and be there for yourself before you get anyone else involved in your life. Because if you love yourself and work on all your insecurities that could snowball into something detrimental, like if you're insecure, like I said, about feeling unlovable and somebody doesn't want to have sex with you and you see that as them not wanting to love you, and you go out and you start a smear campaign and a group hate campaign that kills somebody, that shit is dangerous. We need to push mental health. It is so easy to go inward. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you go inward and you see things that you don't like. And you wonder, how can I live with myself? How can I forgive myself? But it's easy. You just keep going back. I did this thing that I don't like. Why? Oh, because this happened. Well, that's still not an excuse, but at least I know why it happened. Well, who did it to me? Oh, it was my parents. Be angry at your parents for a minute, but don't hold on to it. Your parents did the same thing you did. They made a mistake that they probably never forgave themselves for, or that they're insecure about. Never take anything personally. That's what I do. Nobody is personally out there trying to hurt you. Like, they are just going through their own triggers, their own problems. I never took any of the hate personally once I figured out what was going on, but do you know how hard it was before I had telepathy to not take it personally? I really, on top of my childhood trauma and just the outcasting and isolation and bullying in general, I really felt like there was something wrong with me for a while. I wondered what was wrong with me. Why are people doing this? You ever start feeling like that? It's time to love yourself. It's time to heal. It's time to place the blame where it belongs. And I suggest going to God before you start going inward, because God can really help you a lot. He can help you tap into memories. He can help you be safe while you're vulnerable. He can help you feel loved if you're having trouble loving yourself, if you're feeling suicidal. I also wanted to add this note. This sexual what's it called? This sexual assault campaign that I've been dealing with has actually been going on since around it's been going on for over a year. We'll just say that. I can't say the exact date that it happened, but yeah. They saw one guy do it, and it just became a theme. It's like this one got out of the way and stopped, and then another one got in line and started doing it. And then that one got out of the way, and then another one started doing it. Like, they became the main bully in your life. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 that I can think of off the top of my head that deeply impacted me because they did some very, very awful shit. And I can't even talk about some of it on here because that goes into another video. And I don't even know if I'll ever talk about it. You know how I was talking about people can use energy to hurt you? That's essentially what it is. But they were tapping into memories and forcing you to tap into it with them over and over again, and you're feeling the sensations of it over and over again. And maybe I'll just make that a main video someday because it's pretty big. But yeah, I want to start seeing people sharing my videos. I want to see people start openly talking about this. I want to be someone in the public eye that supports and helps people that are going through things like this. You know how big of a relief it's going to be when people are just like, yeah, it was real. We can talk like this. We're safe again. We have protection. I can validate their feelings. I can help them. I've been through it. Show them how to connect to God and how to protect themselves. I just think that would be amazing to just even have events where we can all connect and talk and open up and share how things traumatized us. The only thing you have to watch out for is defamation of character. Because once you start talking about the abuse that you were subjected to in the metaphysical and there is no proof, people can start suing you for defamation of character. So make sure that when you talk about your abuse, you say Sally Joe did it, or you say John Doe did it, because wouldn't that be awful if you were abused and then you were fucking tortured and you go to talk about it and you get sued for it? Nah, that's not gonna happen. I want to make a safe zone where people can talk about it and they are educated about how to protect themselves in the physical too, so they don't get double fucked. You know what I mean? They're not being fucked in the ass and the vagina, the mouth, the ear, and the eyes all at once because somebody heard their name and said, well, you can't prove that, so they get hit with a lawsuit. This video has gone on long enough. I could probably sit here and vent. I haven't done one in a while because I've been going through a lot, but that is because I've been connecting to God. I did not have God the whole time. I just thought God gave us free will and people either go to heaven or hell depending on their choice, and God let me know that. But God has been actively helping me in my life, and I am beginning to know God, so that is why I haven't done one in a while. It has helped me out tremendously, and I just want to help other people find God because they are not setting things up in our society to help us in abuse cases like this. So I want to be the person that sets things up and helps you if you need it. Some people don't know how to just ask God for help. And for somebody that has experience like me, I can just kind of say, hey, this is what you do. This is what I did. This is what you can do. Like with anything in life, if somebody has experience, they can help you more. So that's going to be the end of my video, and I hope it helps. Thank you, and I love you.